What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
I nodded slightly, encouraging Ruminus to continue.
After that, no one else wanted to taste Shion's food, but those three stepped forward. Their willingness moved everyone, even my subordinates couldn't help but acknowledge Dagura and his brothers.
I see now. Behind Shion's progress in cooking was a tale of unexpected hardship. I even heard Adelman had once said,
I never thought I'd be grateful for not being able to eat.
Honestly, I had to thank everyone involved. From the bottom of my heart.
Well, if it's about tasting our madame's cooking, we're the most suitable for the task.
Big Brother's right. It is like a reward.
Yeah. These three are definitely a bit nuts. But if the result is positive and Dagura and his brothers can avoid causing any trouble, they might be a valuable asset.
Then, either Ruminus or I will handle Dagruel, while Shion and the others take care of Fen.
I'll deal with Dagruel. Honestly, it won't be easy, but I can hold him off long enough.
From Rumina's perspective, she didn't believe she could defeat Dagruel outright. In other words, the strategy was to engage and defeat the other key enemies while Ruminus kept Dagruel occupied. If I were to face Fen, we'd be in a stronger position overall.
Alright, in that case.
Before I could finish my sentence, I think I see a way to win. Everything changed. An urgent message arrived via telepathy net from Ramirez.
Hey Rimuru, we've got a big problem.
You always say that, but I'm dealing with a lot right now too, you know?
I tried to play it off, but this time, it seemed serious.
This isn't the time for jokes. I've lost all contact with Milim's forces. I ordered an investigation right away, but I have a really bad feeling about this.
Ramirez sounded panicked. Just a few minutes ago, Datta and his group returned, reporting that they had successfully taken down Zelenus. But then, things took a sudden turn. The war monitoring feed had abruptly gone dark. Fortunately, the portal connection was still active. Datta and his team were immediately sent back to check the situation, and, of course, Ramirez wasted no time in informing me.
This is bad.
That's what I've been telling you.
Honestly, there's no chance to catch a break. I doubt Milim is involved, but I do have a theory about the video interference.
It's probably Velzard.
Seal-san shares my suspicion. If that's the case, there's little room for doubt.
Tell Datta and the others to stay cautious and not push themselves too hard. I'll handle things soon.
I passed the message to Ramirez before ending the conversation. Then I turned to Ruminez.
Apologies, but I have an urgent situation to deal with.
What's happening?
It looks like Milim and Velzard-san might have clashed. I need to get in touch with Guy, so I'm heading back.
When I explained, Ruminez nodded in understanding.
Understood. We'll prepare to face Dagruel here, so you don't need to worry.
That's right. We'll show them that we can handle those giants on our own.
Ruminez reassured me, and even Shion confidently chimed in, asserting they'd be fine without me. While I wasn't entirely convinced, I trusted them enough to focus on handling this latest development.
Well, I'll head out then.
Yes, leave the rest to us.
Oh, wait, I almost forgot something important.
Ruminez, just so you know, don't count too much on the 4-day buffer.
The earliest Dagruel's forces could arrive would be in 4 days, assuming they kept their current pace. But there was always the chance someone, like me, could teleport the entire army, so we had to be careful.
I've considered that as well. In fact, since you're capable of such a feat, it would be reckless to assume our enemy isn't.
Glad she understood. That eased my concerns. If anything went wrong, I could always rush back, but for now, I needed to focus on this other situation.
All right, stay safe.
You too.
Ruminez and I exchanged nods of agreement.
Good luck, Rimuru-sama.
With Shion and the other support behind me, I made my way back to Tempest. When I returned, I headed straight for the control room. And what I saw there left me absolutely stunned. This wasn't good at all. Really, really bad. On the giant screen in front of me, Milim appeared, completely out of control, consumed by rage. She had transformed into a strange form, completely overtaken by her fury, and was rampaging. Her opponent? Velzard. Velzard, a captivating beauty with a composed smile, was not retreating in the face of Milim, who had truly become a force of destruction. They were evenly matched. It was a battle of gods all over again.
What is going on here?
I muttered in disbelief, and Ramirez chimed in right away.
Thank goodness Datta is recording this.
No, that's not what I meant.
I'm asking for an explanation of the situation.
Oh, right. As you can see, it's a disaster.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that Ramirez isn't going to be much help here. As I sighed in frustration, Benimaru rose from the commander's chair to greet me and explain what had happened.
We were celebrating Zelenus's defeat, but suddenly all communication was cut off. I sent Gobda, who had just returned, to check things out. That's when we confirmed that Velzard-sama and Milim-sama were locked in battle.
Benimaru explained everything clearly. The battlefield was engulfed in an icy white wasteland, utterly lifeless. Ranga had accompanied Gobda and used wind manipulation to try and pick up any scent clues that could help us. But everything had been frozen solid, no trace of life left. In other words, the battlefield had turned into a frozen graveyard, with people trapped like ice statues.
We tried to examine the frozen figures up close, but even with Ranga shielding Gobda, it was impossible to get near them.
Is it really that bad?
Yes. This footage was captured from the farthest distance we could safely manage. Gobda complained about it, but I told him to muster up his courage.
Benimaru is certainly a bit of a devil when it comes to tough orders. But this wasn't the time for lighthearted remarks. Carrera and her squad were still out there, but I couldn't reach them through the telepathy net. Even though we're all linked through the soul corridor, I couldn't sense them, dead or alive. Honestly, it was the worst-case scenario. I didn't want to even think about Carrera and the others being dead. Carrion and Frey were there too. With so many million-class fighters on the field, it was unimaginable they could all be wiped out so quickly without putting up a fight. We had all agreed to buy time if things got dire. But here we were. From the looks of the video, Milim had lost control, unleashing an insane amount of power and fighting fiercely against Velzard. What could have triggered this? The images in my mind weren't looking good. But standing around doing nothing wouldn't help. I understood why Ramirez was panicking, but I couldn't afford to follow suit. The battlefield was chaos, but I had to focus and reset my mind. What could we do now? There was no sense in freaking out. In times like this, I needed to keep my head cool, think through our options, and act methodically.
Summon all remaining members of the dungeon's Elite 10. And tell Gobda and the others to come back, it's too dangerous to stay.
But
I doubt Milim and Velzard-san's battle will be resolved quickly. Right now, only Veldora and I stand a chance of stopping Milim in this state, right?
Honestly, I'm not fond of this situation either. If Milim truly goes berserk, would anyone be able to stop her? I had heard that Ramirez managed to intervene when she clashed with Guy a long time ago, but I can't count on that from Ramirez now. Still, holding on to the faintest glimmer of hope, I asked.
Hey, Ramirez. Just hypothetically, could you snap Milim out of it while I try to hold Velzard-san back?
are you out of your mind? Are you trying to get me killed?
Yeah, I figured as much. I didn't expect much to begin with, but now I had solid confirmation. Ramirez, in her current form, wouldn't be of much use.
No, I thought it was impossible. I just didn't expect them to come up with a plan that would send Milim into a frenzy.
I muttered, sighing. While Benimaru and the others were busy gathering the top brass, I needed to figure out our next steps. I truly hadn't seen this coming. It was bad enough dealing with internal traitors, but now this, an even greater disaster waiting to unfold. I knew this kind of plan was a possibility, but I didn't think it would turn out like this.
If Milim truly loses control, the world could be in danger. This strategy doesn't distinguish between friend and foe, it's a desperate catastrophic move, and if they're willing to go this far, we need to be prepared for an even worse scenario.
What could be worse than this?
The most likely outcome is releasing the world-destroying Dragoniverage. But we should remain alert for other catastrophic possibilities as well.
In short, anything goes. This really was shaping up to be a nightmare. Just bringing Milim back to her senses was already a tall order, and now we had Velzard-san in the mix too. I thought about asking Veldora for help, but the second Velzard's face appeared on the screen, he bolted, muttering some excuse about having urgent business. That guy, he always vanishes when things get serious. But hey, I'm not much better. If I had the chance to run away, I would probably do the same. However, this wasn't an exaggeration, this could spell the end for humanity. And that troubled me deeply. Even if I somehow survived, it wouldn't mean much. It's better to fight with all I've got than just sit around waiting for the worst to happen. I needed to stop feeling sorry for myself and start planning for how to tackle this crisis head on. Before everyone gathered, there was something I needed to take care of, calling in a heavy hitter for help.
I'm asking for immediate support.
Understood, Rimuru-sama. Gi-sama seemed hesitant, but leave it to me, Rain, to negotiate.
Yep, I was reaching out to Guy for help. Realistically, there was no way I could handle Velzard and Milim at the same time. You can't win a battle on sheer will alone. I wasn't about to throw myself into a fight I couldn't win, so I wasn't shy about getting all the help I could. I attempted to connect with Guy through the telepathy net, but my request was declined. Could it be that he sensed the battle between Velzard and Milim and wanted no part of it? No, that didn't seem like Guy's style. Unlike Veldora, Guy understands when action is needed. That could only mean one thing: he saw something even more serious brewing. It was unsettling that both Seal-san and Guy had arrived at the same conclusion. Just one more thing to add to the growing list of problems. Even if Guy dealt with Velzard, Milim would be left for me. While I could see how things might play out up to that point, I had no clear plan for what came after, and that uncertainty gnawed at me. I could manage a fight, but handling Milim without causing catastrophic damage to the planet, let alone just the ground beneath us, seemed nearly impossible. I'd probably be lucky just to stay alive. Even if I were to die, as long as Veldora was around, I could come back. But if I fell, the pressure would shift entirely to Guy, and he'd be overwhelmed. As powerful as Guy is, he wouldn't be able to fight both Velzard and Milim at the same time. And honestly, the planet itself might not survive such a confrontation. No matter how you looked at it, this situation was perilous. And on top of that, we still had Feldway and Ivaraj to contend with. Even after defeating Michael, the problems just wouldn't stop piling up. The more I tried to think of solutions, the more overwhelmed I became by the gravity of it all. Just then, I received a reply from Rain.
Rimuru-sama, we've got it. Guy-sama has heard your request.
Hey, Rimuru, why are you using my Rain as your messenger?
Unsurprisingly, it was Guy himself who interrupted the telepathy net. He seemed confused as to why Rain and I were coordinating so well. Of course, there was a reason. I'd recognized Rain's artistic talents and had been making various requests for my own purposes. Rain had been more than happy to take on my requests, and before long, she became my personal artist. More specifically, I became her benefactor, helping her artistic talent flourish.
A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible: Jared Bressler, Havox, Speed Saber, Curtis Loban, Judah Herrera, Just a Guy, Nissa L.W. Hernandez, Jason Martin, Zach Rosen, Jerry Sladek, Ray Perez, Jay, Donald Williams, Day of Light, John M, Godman Gaming, Markithian Tidwell, Adrian, Kumo, T. Bush, JV, Thomas, Christ, Joshua Cousins, Jose Hernandez, Khalid, Christian Deshazer, Divine C. Harris, Montyboy98, Ruben, Yuki Iki, Gray, Isaac, Koala King 93, Quilly Buckner, Alver, Darius King, Normal Defate, Vicente Baharias, Joshua Andrade, L, Gary Miles, Dragon Spawn 666, J. Rule, Nate, Leiron Sangkap, Lucas Guet, Jason Martin, Christopher Mash, Charles Bailey, Sky T, Diego Ginoza, Andre Hamilton, Martin Ramos, Guy Ensley, Simon Rode, Emperor WSA, Miko Espinosa, Gobi Lin, Pratik Bandari, Faiz Mansour, Jackson Early, Smexy, Carl Stephen Bernadel, Gareth Hashimoto, Steven Madison, Vasto Lord, Marl Barsha, Ralph Ignacio, Efrain Hernandez, William Locke, Kamal Luke, Jahid Hassan Lipu, Spencer Candila, Ian Sikibiol, Thanakorn Lee Sawat, KACP9R, The Harv, Drayden Yamauchi, Alex Buthanu, Michael Brinkley, Nathan Alexander, Mario Kanoy, Karam Faraj. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.